The UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination published its report last week. The Dutch government and media have been downplaying the committee's findings.
During the UN review of racial discrimination in the Netherlands, the Dutch delegation was able to present its report, after which they received constructive criticism from their UN colleagues.
During the review, the Dutch delegation tried framing itself as a model country of diversity.
The Netherlands is a highly diverse society, home to over 190 different nationalities from all continents. In the 4 big cities of the Netherlands, namely Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague and Utrecht, more than half of the population has an immigrant background. The Netherlands has seen large immigration flows since the 1960s. This has led to profound changes in Dutch society, which has given rise to feelings of fear and alienation in some quarters of the Dutch societies, as well as, at times, a fierce debate on integration and immigration.
Who exactly experiences this fear and feeling of alienation? And who is leading the discussion when it comes to integration? Medea is a political party inspired by the Islam. Unlike lame duck Rotterdam Mayor Ahmed Abu Taleb, who is seen by some as a sellout, Noordin El-Ouali has taken it upon himself to expose the discriminatory integration practices of the Dutch government.
Wist u dat de meerderheid in deze zaal hoogstwaarschijnlijk door dit college nog als migrant wordt genoemd? Benoemd als mensen die nog op een invoegstrook rijden, die nog onderdeel zouden moeten worden van deze samenleving. 50% van Rotterdam is zogenaamd allochtoon. 50% van die zogenaamde allochtonen zijn hier geboren en getogen. Wij zijn hier niet de vreemdelingen. Het lijkt erop alsof het college op dit punt nog veel te vervreemd is van haar eigen stad. Wij zijn Rotterdammers. En het maakt niet uit wat onze afkomst is, het maakt ook niet uit waar we in geloven. Wij zijn Rotterdammers en dat zullen we ook blijven zeggen, totdat iedereen daarvan nog doordrongen is.
Vice Prime Minister Lodewijk Asscher is responsible for addressing cases of discrimination and racism.
Unfortunately, the Vice Prime Minister and Minister responsible for fighting racial discrimination in the Netherlands, Mr. Lodewijk Asscher, couldn't be here today. Much to his own regret, as he attaches great importance to the fight against racism. He would have very much liked to personally discuss with your committee all efforts he has taken together with the other responsible ministers to counter all forms of racial discrimination in the Netherlands.
If combating racism and discrimination was so important for the Vice Prime Minister, why did he choose to take a walk on the beach instead of coming to Geneva? Dutch politician Geert Wilders claims that the cabinet Mr. Asscher belongs to distributes Islamophobic reports weekly.
We krijgen van het Nederlandse kabinet ongeveer iedere week een brief die aangeeft dat het islamitisch terrorisme alleen maar sterker wordt.
Mr. Wilders is oftentimes followed by a large group of Dutch journalists that help him spread his message of hate. Instead of denouncing Mr. Wilders' racially discriminatory statements, such as his fewer Moroccans speech, Mr. Asscher has the following to say.
De rechter om te beoordelen of hij wel of niet voorbij die grens is gegaan. Mijn taak is niet hem te verbieden dat soort uitspraken te doen. Mijn taak is wel, tenminste vind ik, om in het debat, in het parlement, tegenwicht te bieden.
The Dutch law is clear when it comes to hate speech. Why can't Mr. Asscher, like President Mandela, clearly define what his stance are?
But of course, as I said to Mr. Sigmund in Geneva and others, that we carefully define what we mean by secure borders. We do not mean that Israel has the right to retain the territories they conquered from the Arab world, like the Gaza Strip, the Golan Heights, and the West Bank. We don't agree with that. Those territories should be returned to the Arab people.
If the Dutch aren't able to safeguard the human rights of its citizens at home, how do they plan on safeguarding human rights abroad?
The Kingdom of the Netherlands is a strong proponent of upholding international law and strengthening the international legal order and the framework of human rights. There is in fact a constitutional requirement for the government to contribute to the development of the international legal order. In this respect, the Kingdom of the Netherlands is unique.
In 2014, the Dutch Defense Ministry signed off on a military cooperation agreement with Israel. Dutch citizens were also allowed to travel to Israel and join the IDF in support of Israel's new Zionist movement.
This is a whole different Zionism, a modern Zionism, and I want to wish them, because I know that yesterday and the day before, when they just arrived in the country, they felt that the vision is becoming a reality. So I wish them to never be disappointed, and I'm sure that they came here to change the world, and we salute them.
Changing the world for Israel is wiping out an entire community of people. Approximately 520,000 Palestinians in Gaza were displaced. Approximately 7,000 homes were destroyed, resulting in $4 to $6 billion in rebuilding costs. After the Israel-Gaza conflict of 2014, approximately 2,300 Gazans were killed, with approximately 7 to 75% being civilians. 66 Israeli soldiers, 5 Israeli civilians, and 1 Thai civilian were killed. Prime Minister Mark Rutte remained neutral during the conflict and stated repeatedly in the media that Israel had a right to defend itself. The streets of Amsterdam soon filled with thousands of demonstrators who are seen by the government as non-Western allochtonen. After Amsterdam, they went to The Hague. And after The Hague, over 10,000 marched through Rotterdam.
Wij zullen eerst de vlag half stok hoog hijsen, omdat we meeleven met elke onschuldige mensenleven, vrouwen, bejaarden en kinderen in Gaza. Maar mensen, op een dag zal Palestina vrij zijn en wij weten het.
During World War II, Rotterdam was destroyed by Nazi bombers. Yet, the Netherlands helps Israel exterminate Palestinians.
En de wereld weet het. En Israël weet het. Wij staan aan de kant van het recht.
Just like with the Israel-Gaza conflict, the Dutch UN delegation refuses to be honest and transparent towards the committee on why a group of Dutch citizens are invisible and labeled as non-Western allochtonen, which caused this reaction.
Also, I asked a question about the term that is commonly used to refer to Afro-descendant Dutch persons, which suggests that they're not truly considered a part of the Dutch community. Thank you.
Yeah, the last question, the Afro did and not being part of. It's a question we discussed yesterday. We weren't really aware of that, but when you look at the word allochtone, it means not being part of. It's a Greek word, etc. We don't use the word anymore in our policy papers, but we weren't aware that the European Union sometimes used this translation. So thank you for the advice, because that's really not the aim.
So basically you have a system in practice in which ideally everything is fine, but then it's not functioning. Now, this was the subject of the first or the previous concluding observations on the Netherlands. And now, from what I understand, there is not going to be any change in that. So are we going to write the same things in the new concluding observations? Is this really a productive dialogue? Are we getting somewhere? Or will you continue in the next time to give us pretty much the same reasoning, and then we write the same concluding observation, the same recommendation, and we go on like this? I mean, this is basically undermining the whole purpose of this exercise.
I don't know what other words I can use to convince you. I see from your non-verbal that you're not completely satisfied, but at least...
Laughs and shoulder shrugs continued throughout the review, showing that the Dutch delegation thought that this was one big joke.
This is Kevin Roberson in Geneva, Switzerland for the Roberson Report.